In this video, I will basically talk about the judgment by Supreme Court in which the investigation in Sushant Singh Rajput case was transferred over to CBI, and this case was actually filed by Riya Chakrabarti versus State of Bihar as a transfer petition, while an FIR had been lodged in Patna in Bihar. So the first para basically describes, like there is an FIR under sections so and so of the IPC in Rajiv Nagar police station of Patna, and then this is the matter pertains to unnatural death of the actor Sushant Singh Rajput, and then the Mumbai police has been investigating this case under section 174. So let me just show you section 174. Basically, as I have highlighted already, section 174 is not really for FIR or investigation or a cognizable offense. It is for basically some kind of an inquest or inquiry into either a suicide or where there is a death, where there is a reasonable suspicion that some other person has committed an offense. So there were various misgivings and theories floating around, and even now, about the death of actor Sushant Singh Rajput, in short SSR. So that is the reason Mumbai police had been investigating, or rather doing inquiries under section 174. The petitioner is a friend of the deceased, so that is very well known, and it is said that she left the actor's house, SSR's house, on 8th of June, a few days prior to the death of the actor, which was on 14th June. So basically, the petitioner, the Riya Chakrabarti, states that Mumbai police is competent, so there is no need for the FIR lodged at Patna, any investigation to be done by the Bihar police in this case. Let's go down a little bit further, and basically the allegation is that there was no jurisdiction in Patna, and it was only because of political pressure that the Bihar police had registered an FIR in Patna. So again, the transfer of investigation to the CBI on Bihar's government consent would not amount to a lawful consent of the state government. So this is basically when already the FIR which was lodged in Patna has been transferred to CBI. Basically, the petitioner Riya Chakrabarti also states that she has no objection if the investigation is conducted by the CBI. And some of you might remember that she had already tweeted to Home Minister Amit Shah quite some time before all this procedure started, that she would want a proper investigation by the CBI. So this is also a matter of record, and it's in public because it's on Twitter. So basically, the state of Bihar, the council states that this is a cognizable offense, and therefore Patna police can register an FIR, which is kind of correct if it is a cognizable offense. So let's look further. And basically, they state that the section 174 and 175 of CRPC is a very limited to ascertaining the cause of death. And like I showed, if you look at this section 174, it simply states that basically they will create a report which apparent cause of death, describing wounds, fractures, bruises, etc., etc. And then this report shall be signed by such police officer and then forwarded to the district magistrate. So it still doesn't say anything about registration of FIR or anything like that. So section 174 is kind of limited. And then the Bihar Council, for the opposite party, they also state that the SIT of Bihar Police, which reached on 27 July, their officers were quarantined. Even the Superintendent of Police was quarantined. So I think this was in the public knowledge, and this seemed a very strange turn of events, and it looked quite absurd that a senior police officer has been quarantined by the Mumbai municipal authorities. Of course, related to safety during COVID-19 and all those kind of things. Now, the contention of Bihar and the opposite party is that the petitioner herself has called for a CBI investigation, and the CBI has already registered a case. So basically, the transfer petition is infructuous. That's the statement of the opposite party council. So they are, the similar things which we have covered before. So let's go down section 179 and 181.4. I think I will talk in more detail a little bit later on towards the end. And basically, the Mumbai police has registered an accidental death report under 174 of CRPC. And the Mumbai police states that they have recorded statements of 56 persons and other evidence such as post-mortem report and forensic have been collected. I am not sure even till this date this post-mortem report has been, any details from this have been made public. So, but all this has been stated in the court by the Mumbai police. Now, according to the council of the Mumbai Maharashtra government, basically they are saying that there can be no outer time limit for conclusion of section 174. So, but that doesn't seem a very reasonable thing, because already a couple of months had passed when this judgment came and these arguments happened. So it looks like they want to take forever for this investigation or these inquiries to under section 174 of CRPC. So basically there are points about country's federal structure. So these are kind of complicated things, and but even then many of these, I think almost all of these have been covered in the judgment towards the end. So we will have a look at all that. Okay, so basically there are allegations that there are two cases pending in two different states, and states police are being influenced by external factors in both states, and so on and so forth. So this is a very, very contentious case, and there is a lot of public attention, and including from directly from the public itself. So, and there is already enforcement directorate investigation which is also going on. So basically, registration of FIR is yet to legally commence in Mumbai, but then their council states that there is no outer time limit. So when will it happen, and will it ever happen, is itself a question mark. So if you go down, so basically these are about how a CBI investigation can be allowed, and these are matters of how a permission can be granted. So we will cover that later. And then again, obstruction to the Bihar police is mentioned over here. So basically the father of SSR has filed a complaint at Patna leveling serious allegations against the petitioner Riya Chakrabarti also. And petitioner already has mentioned she has no objection for CBI investigation. And then there are allegations that from the the complainant in the FIR, SSR's father, that there is an attempt to shield the real culprits under political pressure. And then there is the point of if there is a central agency for investigation, it would retain public confidence in the whole process of investigation. And then there is a point of law that it is not for the accused to choose the investigation agency. So that's a reasonable point. So basically in this para, these are the core issues which the Supreme Court has mentioned. Whether the Supreme Court has power to transfer investigation, this is not a case or appeal under section 406. So let me have a look at section 406. Now, as per my reading of section 406, it doesn't really look like about power to transfer an investigation case. It is more about a case which is pending in one high court to another high court, or from a criminal court subordinate to the one high court to another criminal court of another state. So if you go through this section, it's not really about transfer of investigation as such. So the second issue is whether the Mumbai police investigation proceeding under section 164 can be termed as an investigation under CRPC, whatever those sections are. Whether it was within the jurisdiction of the Patna police to register the FIR, I think that's a very, very important point, because any transfer to CBI which has happened in this case by Patna, by the Bihar state government to CBI, can be done only if this FIR can be registered in the first place. And then there is a point of the consent given by the Bihar government to the transfer to the CBI. And then there is a point of power of a single judge under section 406, etc., etc. So basically, I think there are precedents that transfer of investigation, on the other hand, was negated by this court in a certain case, and that can happen, transfer can happen only if there is a case pending. So as of now, there is no case pending before any court. So these are the paras taken from various judgment precedents. Now, it says again the same thing, that only cases and appeals, not investigation, can be transferred under 406 of CRPC. And then section 174 is limited to inquiry, so that's also clear. And the fact of the matter is that in Mumbai, no FIR has been registered as yet. And then these are again, precedents, and it says that section 174 of CRPC, they are entirely distinct from investigation under section 157 of the code. I have opened these various sections. Let me just quickly jump to 157. So 157 of CRPC is for procedure of investigation. It says that commission of an offence for which he is empowered, the police officer, under section 156 to investigate. So let's have a look at 156. So it says, without order of a magistrate, a police officer can investigate a cognizable case. Now I think the fact in this matter is that Mumbai police has never registered an FIR. That's the reason there is no investigation as such under 156 and 157. So the same thing, it is not really distinct, it is not really investigation under 154 of CRPC. And 154 of CRPC is again about cognizable offences. So basically, if a cognizable offence is mentioned or dictated, well, not the right word, but if a cognizable offence is reported to a police officer, then they have the power to investigate without any magistrate, without even a direction of a magistrate. So the same thing, not an investigation of a crime under section 157 of the CRPC. So these are the points of law that registration of FIR is mandated when it's a cognizable offence and reported to the police. And this is a well-known precedent, Lalita Kumari versus Government of UP 2014. So those paras are also extracted here. Now there is a talk about section 177 and 178, and these are about the ordinary place of inquiry or trial. And section 178 is for, when offence has been committed in several places. So these are, let me just show section 177. It's a very simple one sentence. Every offence shall ordinarily be inquired, tried by a court in whose local jurisdiction it was committed. And 178 is for those cases where it is not very certain, or in those cases where an offence is committed partly in one local area and partly in another. So because in this case the demise of the actor SSR has happened in Mumbai, so it seems like the jurisdiction belongs to Mumbai. However, the Patna FIR is on grounds of misappropriation of funds and criminal breach of trust, etc. So we will have a look at that in a short while. So section 181 provides subsection 4 of the section 181 was introduced in so and so, and then it provides for investigation in a different place also. Let's have a look at 181. I think this is a very important part of this. So basically, very quickly, it is for cases where a murder, a theft, dacoity, kidnapping, extortion, robbery, it may have happened in one place, but then the proceeds, or the person may have gone to another, the accused person may have gone to another place. So it allows for trial in those other places also. Let's quickly jump to subsection 4, which says for criminal misappropriation or of criminal breach of trust, it may be inquired where any part of the property which is the subject of the offence was received or retained, or was required to be returned or accounted for by the accused person. So in the Patna, Bihar FIR, the accused is Riya Chakrabarti, and it is about funds which have been misappropriated, and the legal heir is the father of the deceased, SSR. So basically, it makes a logical conclusion that the FIR is possible in Patna, because it's not about the death of the person. It's more about it's actually about the funds and the misappropriation of funds. That's what the Patna FIR is all about. So if we go down further, so this is the same, the 181 subsection 4 has been reproduced over here in the judgment itself. And then, so it says, as when it's coming towards the end of the conclusion, so it says, as per the nature of the allegations about the misappropriation and breach of trust, the jurisdiction of the Bihar police appears to be in order. And for from the same flow of the logical flow of the law, the Bihar government was competent to give consent to for transfer to the CBI. But at the same time, the incidents referred to in the complaint indicates that even Mumbai police has the jurisdiction if and when their inquiry leads to the conclusion that there can be an FIR in this case. So basically, section 6 of the, now we come to as to how case can be transferred to CBI, and I will show the subsection. Now this is the from the government website, subsection, section 6 of the DPSE, Delhi Police Special Establishments Act. Let me just Delhi Police Special Police Establishment Act of 1946, which is basically the act under which CBI investigations can happen. Basically, it says that no such case can be transferred without the consent of the government of that state. So basically, in this case, the Bihar government has given the consent to transfer the Patna FIR to CBI. And let me just show that news on August 4, 3:54 p.m. The Chief Minister of Bihar says that this FIR will be transferred to CBI. So we have given our permission or consent for transfer to CBI. And if I look at another news of the very next day, August 5, it says that the Tushar Mehta, basically the second senior most officer of the central government, has informed the Supreme Court that the government has accepted the request by the Bihar government for the CBI investigation. So basically, it was made by this submission was made during this same judgment which we are discussing right now. So now these are the points about powers of the Supreme Court under Article 226 and various other powers to do the right justice, transfer of CBI, whether the court has power or not. And again, it says that as and when 175, 174 CRPC is concluded by the Mumbai police, even they can file an FIR and do the parallel investigation. So basically, the Supreme Court is coming to a conclusion that to avoid uncertainty and confusion in that scenario, it would be better that the search for the truth is undertaken by an independent agency, not controlled by either of the two state governments, Maharashtra and Bihar. And they are saying that the investigation by the CBI is held to be lawful, and even in the future, in case this court's order will be binding and it will be possible to, it will be enable the CBI to investigate even a new case, any new FIRs without going through the section 6 of the DSPE Act again. So in that case, there will not be another need of a consent of the state of Maharashtra. So the Supreme Court has already given the power in this judgment itself. So basically, both states are making acrimonious allegations against each other. So these are the logical reasonings of the judgment. And now it comes to, this case has gone a lot of public attention and a lot of media coverage. And there is a reasonable apprehension of truth being a casualty in this case. And basically, I think in this sentence and this para, there is a acknowledgement of the fact that a lot of the fans and even general public, not just the family and friends of SSR, have been keenly watching the proceedings in this case, and there are a lot of speculations and theories floating around, which is not good for the confidence of the public in a state and the investigation of various police departments. And the petitioner Riya Chakrabarti herself has called for a CBI investigation. So that is also very clear. So basically, the trust, faith and confidence of the common man in the judicial process is important, and that is one of the reasons for transfer of this case to CBI. So basically, ensure public confidence, etc., etc., Article 142 of the Constitution. So these are the reasonings as to under which article and under which sections of the laws Supreme Court can authorize this transfer to CBI. And it says clearly, if any other case is registered on the death of the actor SSR and the surrounding circumstances, the CBI is directed to investigate the new cases as well. So this is a very important thing because as of now, more and more things are coming into the public and the media limelight. There is an angle of drugs. There is an angle of various lobbies in Bollywood, and I mean there are various theories floating around. So it's difficult to say who is to be blamed, but this case has achieved, a huge proportion of public interest and wider ramifications, not just on the people who are responsible for this unnatural death, but even the whole Bollywood industry itself. So I think at some level, all those considerations weighed upon the Supreme Court probably in coming to the conclusion in this judgment as to the logical reasons to transfer the case to CBI. Okay, so basically that's about it in this, and the judgment was pronounced on August 19, and hope this analysis was of some use. And if you like the analysis and other videos on my channel, please subscribe and share this video. Thank you.